That is on our first segment of the show, where we'll be delving deeper in looking at what the headline says here and what, of course, we can look forward to as far as the news. I got some of the newspapers with me here: Standard, Daily Nation, Star, People's Daily, talking about the Swahili newspaper Taifa Leo. I'll be giving you what they say in just a bit in our first segment of the show. But of course, our second segment of the show is all about matters to do with the economy of the coastal region. And we asking a very simple question here. It has been 10 years of Jubilee administration, and we want to analyze and scrutinize how they have performed in line with the improvement of the economy of the coastal region. Inside the Jubilee administration, there has been quite a lot of concerns that have come out, the likes of the standard gauge railway and the issue to do with the Mombasa port, and also the issue with carrying all the cargo from the port through the SGR. That spurred a lot of conversation. In as much as we have that as well, there has been quite a number of infrastructure improvements and projects around the coastal region, and we want to analyze the economy of the coast 10 years later during the Jubilee administration. Also, we'll be looking at the ways at which the county government of Mombasa, Kilifi and Kwale have tried to improve its economy, and what can we look forward to, especially during this time that the three governors are walking out of office, and what are we also looking at in terms of who exactly is going to come in to improve the economy going forward. That is what we'll be looking into and discussing together with my guest, that is Mr. Salim KARAMA, who is the current chair of the Fast Action business community, and he will be telling me more concerning the coastal economy. That conversation will be coming your way in the Swahili language later on in our second segment of the show, and it's one of a kind that you don't want to miss. And speaking about not wanting to miss, you will have that streamed live on Facebook and also live on your TV set. So if you're not so close with your TV set, you have no reason whatsoever to miss what we are doing. You can use your phone or your laptop anywhere, and you can check us through all our socials. Facebook and YouTube, you can find us live, and we will be also expecting to hear from you, courtesy of our topic of discussion. And you can share your thoughts concerning if you think the coastal region economy has improved 10 years later during the tenure of the Jubilee government led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy Ruto. That conversation will be coming your way in our second segment of the show, and my guest, the chairman of the Fast Action business community, Mr. Salim KARAMA, will be joining me in studio to talk about all those matters. But straight into it, we want to look at what is making headline this morning. And with me here, I'm holding the Daily Nation and the Standard newspaper, and I want to go straight into looking at what is making headline in the Daily Nation. And on the front page of the Daily Nation here, looking at the front page of the Daily Nation, what are we waking up to inside the Daily Nation this morning? We're told that Raila Kalonzo team plot mega alliance, and we are told here that the One Kenya Alliance principles have remained tight-lipped on the plans to join hands with Mr. Odinga's Azimio la Umoja movement, even as the nation has established that a committee comprising representatives from both sides is hammering out a grand coalition deal. And of course, there's a picture there showing you the Wiper Party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, together with Mr. Odinga, looking smiles. And what we can report out from this Nation newspaper is that Raila Kalonzo's team plot for mega alliance. And also, it has been listed there that February 28th is the date at which One Kenya Alliance will deposit coalition agreement with the Registrar of Political Parties. And NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua yesterday joined the One Kenya principles, and also the United Democratic Party head Cyrus Jirongo had to sign a deal, and they say they're solidly within One Kenya Alliance, and even though they are open to talks, but as of now they are together and their eyes are set into the ballot. So that is a story on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. And also we will be following up for you and look into how they will maybe have that alliance or not. But for now though, grab your copy. It's on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. You can read more of whatever is explained there to understand. Now, Ruto has 52 days to quit Jubilee. And it's a race against time, and it's quite a countdown, as Deputy President William Ruto and all MPs allied to him have until March 26th to formally join UDA party. And that is a story on page 6. Also, on another interesting matter here, is that alarm as pressure drug runs out. We are told that patients have, for the past 2 months, been using alternative medicine as a common drug run out of stock, and this has caused a lot of alarm in relation to those who are suffering from high blood pressure having to suffer in relation to the shortage of drugs in hospitals, and that is what is happening on page 10. On the back page of the Daily Nation on this Thursday day here, we are told that the International Criminal Court gives witnesses in Kenya's lawyer case a legal advisor, and that is in relation to the representation at the ICC. And the ICC witness gets legal counsel, and that is on the back page. And on top of the front page still, we're told that Joho's wife files for divorce, and this is Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, whose wife, that is Ms. Madina Fazini, has sought to end their union, and she had filed a case at the Cadiz Court that gives the county boss 14 days to file response, failing which a judgment will be rendered, and that is a story. I'll be looking at it once I look at the Standard, because it's one of the main stories of the Standard this morning, but that is quite explained on page 3 of the Daily Nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what is served courtesy of the Daily Nation. You can grab your copy and look at what is making headline this morning. But I want to go straight looking at what is also making headline in the Standard newspaper. We must look at what is also making headline in the bold Kenyan's newspaper in the country, that is the Standard. And like I mentioned, the Joho story is what is making headline this morning on the Standard. And our marriage is over, wife tells Joho, that is the main splash headline. And love gone sour, and our marriage is completely broken down and cannot be revived. Madina Fazini, the first wife of Mombasa Governor, tells Cadiz Court after 9 years of separation. And according to the Standard on page 3, Ms. Fazini here explains, and I quote her words, "I am clear and unequivocal that our marriage has broken down, irretrievable, and with no chance of revival, given we have both moved on 9 years later." And she now wants an official divorce, and that's why it's playing out on the front page of the Standard. You can read more of that to get updated as well. And of course, also the Standard serves us to what was happening yesterday in Mombasa in relation to the change into the traffic routes and chaos protest on Mombasa Road. And we're told here, Coast Road users express shock over county's decision to change flow of traffic on various roads in bid to clear land up witnessed during peak hours. And there's a picture there showing you how the county traffic unit is, directing vehicles in relation to that, and that is a story on page 10. But I want to go straight into it, just a little bit concerning that article. And according to this story, is that motorists and passengers have complained of the implementation of one-way traffic flow cut, and they say that it caught them unaware, and the county government terms the move a success, and that it will reduce jam during peak hours. But even though that was happening, There was some bit of a confusion in relation to that, but according to the Transport CEC, Mr. Tofik Balala has since maintained that even though many government agencies managing roads, but the county government has the responsibility to manage traffic flow, and we have to bite the bullet, and we have to make hard decisions. So that is what he had to explain yesterday in relation to that. And let me just explain to you some of the few people who were being interviewed by the Standard here had to say in relation to this. And he says that we woke up to a big shock after we were informed that there was a change of routes and there was traffic slam-up from Bombolulu to Nyali Bridge early in the morning. Instead of making 3 trips in the morning, we managed to only make 2. This may force us to increase fare. And this was a tuk-tuk driver by the name Moses Mutunga. And he says it was difficult to rush patients to the Coast General Hospital from Likoni Ferry as they were forced to go to Sabasaba instead of the shorter route through Marikiti and Bondeni. Okay. And also, another one says here, we did not have prior information about this arrangement. The county government should not unilaterally introduce changes that adversely affects road users. And also we saw the Matatu community threatening to strike even if the county government will not reverse its decision. And this is the second day of that decision. We will see how things work out in relation to that. Now, on page 3, there's also an interesting story here of a gentleman by the name Agustin Wanyonyi, 35-year-old, who stole 2 Bibles from a Naivas supermarket. And the guy says he stole the Bible to avoid killing himself. And upon being asked why he stole the 2 Bibles instead of 1, Mr. Wanyonyi says that he wanted to take one to his wife and use the other one to read the Bible and understand and preach the gospel instead of committing suicide as a result of some of the issues and problems that he is currently facing. But the accused person was taken back to police station, and he will be appearing in court for sentencing on February 16th. So that is one of the few stories that made headline yesterday, and also it was one of the conversations within the social media platforms, particularly mentioning how the gentleman was innocent to explain why he had to stole, why he had stole the Bible in relation to wanting not to kill himself. So those are some of the few articles enlisted. And inside the political front, we can see on page 6, Raila promises to streamline police service and kick out graft. He was speaking yesterday in KCB grounds in Kajiado town yesterday. And also 6 members of parliament allied to deputy president kicked out of House committee. That is also what is happening on page 6. And another one says here, we are open for talks, but says One Kenya Alliance. You can read more of whatever is enlisted there to understand what is being made on the front pages and inside the pages of the Standard newspaper. Now, I want to take you straight looking at what is making headline in the Star newspaper. And on the front page of the Star newspaper here, he talks about live streaming of polls results to be scrapped. And this is within a bill that proposes live streaming of polls to be scrapped and presidential results to be streamed manually and electronically. That is what is happening on page 4 and 5 of the Star. And a major clash in a battle between Ruto and Raila and Uhuru against Ruto troops looms as the bill is supposed to be discussed at the floor of the House. And this bill proposes a scrap off into the live streaming of poll results and also issues about having the election be transmitted both manually and electronically. And that is what is happening on page 4 and 5. And on top there, a blow to DPP as court sticks to September date in Gachagwa's case. That is also what is happening on page 9. And you can check that out as well to read more of whatever is explained there. And like I mentioned, also there's that article that talks about Joho's marriage with the first wife. And you're told here that Joho's wife of 10 years, Mrs. Madina Fazini, that the second name is quite difficult for me to pronounce, but she says here she feels that marriage is over and she has formally filed a divorce. And that is a story on page 2 of The Star. You can check it out as well to read and understand. Now, so those are some of the few headlines enlisted on the front page of the Star. You can check out more of whatever is enlisted. But I want to go straight into what is also making headline in the People's Daily. If my director can pull that up for you to see as well what is happening on the front page of the People's Daily. New law to ban live broadcast of polls results. And you're told here, it will also not be possible to change the outcome of the presidential election as announced at the polling station if the election amendment bill currently before Parliament is passed. And this is a story on page 2. And according to this story, is that the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the image of the result in the prescribed form to the National Tallying Center. And according to this bill, it also proposes that there should be no any sort of live broadcasting of poll results. And that is what is happening, and that bill is supposed to be discussed at the floor of the House. And according to this story as well, there may be quite a battle between the members of Parliament, each allied to their own faction. And also, public servants get resignation guidelines, and we're told here the government sets February 8 as the deadline for officials who want to contest elections to quit. And according to the public servants chair there, that is Mr. Joseph Kinyua, he has listed a draft of guidelines in relation to those who want to resign. So that is a story on page 2 in the People's Daily. And on top there, also, Mombasa boss Joho's wife files for divorce. You can find that on page 5. And below there, we also see One Kenya Alliance principles lay ground for coalition talks with Raila. And they were speaking yesterday after signing a deal. And they were also joined by the Monarch Kenya, together with Cyrus Jirongo, who is also one of the few individuals key into the politics of the country. So you can check that out and read more of whatever is enlisted to understand. Now, I want to go straight into looking what is making headline in the Taifa Leo before we call it a wrap here. Na nikitazama kwenye ukurasa wa mbele ni kuhusiana na yale ambayo yanafanyika katika taifa letu na pia katika ukanda wa Pwani, haswa tukianzia pale ambapo mkewe Joho aomba talaka, na unaambiwa kwamba Bi Madina Fazini, mkewe wa gavana Hassan Joho, anataka kwamba aweze kupewa talaka. Na katika stakabadhi kotini, Bi Medina anadai kutelekezwa na gavana tangu mwaka 2013. Naam, taarifa hiyo mpenzi mtazamaji ya ndoa ya gavana Hassan Joho na jinsi hali halisi ya penzi hilo lilivyo katika ukurasa wa 5 utalipata pale. Chini tunaona kwamba kuna picha ya afisa wa trafiki katika kaunti ya Mombasa akielekeza magari jana kwenye mzunguko wa Barclays baada ya kuanzishwa kwa kanuni mpya ya trafiki ambayo itasaidia kupunguza msongamano wa magari. Lakini japo hali hiyo haikuchukuliwa vyema kwa wale ambao ni waendesha magari, wanasema kwamba hawakuhusishwa, kwa hivyo hawakubaliani kabisa na jambo hilo. Lakini hata hivyo usimamizi wa sekta ya usafiri hapa Mombasa imeshikilia kwamba agizo hilo litazidi kuendelea hadi pale ambapo wataafikiana katika kupunguza msongamano wa magari. Pale juu katika ukurasa huo huo ni kwamba OKA sasa yafufuka kwa kishindo. Unaambia kwamba muungano wa Moi, Kalonzo na Karua kuamua mshindi wa urais katika ukurasa wa pili, baada ya kusaini mkataba wa jinsi watakavyofanya kazi kwenye vyama hivyo tanzu vinavyotengeneza muungano huo wa One Kenya Alliance, na ni taarifa katika ukurasa wa pili. Alafu huduma za afya kule kaunti ya Kwale za kwama baada ya mgomo wa wahudumu kutatiza shughuli katika vituo vya afya, lakini serikali ya Kwale bila shaka imeshikilia kwamba yeyote yule hataweza kufika kazini, basi huenda akachukuliwa hatua za kinidhamu. Na hatua hizo za kinidhamu, ukimsikiza gavana alivyozungumza, anasema kwamba huenda akawafuta na kuwasimamisha kazi. Mwisho kabisa, Lamu wataka kafyu iishe. Hawa ni wakazi wa Lamu, wanaitaka serikali isiongeze muda wa kafyu iliyowekwa kufuatia ongezeko la visa vya uhalifu eneo hilo, na wanasema kwamba hali hiyo imeathiri biashara na za sekta tofauti tofauti, lakini wanasema kwamba wanataka kafyu hiyo ikamilike. Alafu katika ukurasa wa 4, moto mkali waua watu 5 Kibokoni, ni katika ukurasa wa 4 wa Taifa Leo, ambapo watu 5 wakiwemo jamaa 3 walifariki jana kwenye moto mkali kule Kibokoni. Mpenzi mtazamaji, natumai hizo ni zile baadhi ya taarifa ambazo tuliweza kufuatizia jana na tulikutaarifisha, na mara hizo mwendo wa saa 4 kamili, na wanahabari wetu watakuwa wanafanya kazi hiyo. Na bila shaka nikitamatisha kwenye swala zima la uchambuzi wa magazeti, na malizia kule kwenye spoti, ambapo kindumbwe kile cha AFCON kinazidi kuelekea tamati baada ya kuona jana Senegali ikiweza kufuzu kwenye fainali baada ya kuipiku Burkina Faso mabao 3-1. Alafu leo ni zamu ya Misri na Cameroon kuraruana. Je, ni nani atafuzu kwenye fainali kati ya Cameroon na Misri? Pia unaweza kutupatia mtazamo wako, na hisi ni nani atafuzu. Je, ni hawa wa Misri ama wenyeji wa mchuano huo Cameroon ambao watakabiliana na Senegali kwenye fainali? Basi ni leo tutajua mbivu na mbichi. Na kuhusiana pia na kujua mbivu na mbichi, mpenzi mtazamaji, tutaweza kufahamu iwapo uchumi wa pwani umeimarika ama umedidimizwa ndani ya serikali ya Jubilee miaka 10 baadaye. Je, uchumi wa pwani upo vipi? Ndio mada ambayo tutaweza kuzungumza hapa, na tutaweza kujadavua kiundani zaidi kuhusiana na masuala muhimu ambayo yamechangia kukua ama kudorora kwa uchumi. Tutaanzia katika kuzungumzia swala zima la bandari ya Mombasa, pia tuangazie inafahamika kama reli ya kisasa ya SGR, pamoja pia na kuzungumzia masuala ya blue economy na mengi ambayo yanahusiana na uchumi wa pwani, pamoja na miundo msingi ambayo serikali za kitaifa imeweza kuleta hapa katika ukanda wa pwani, na jinsi pia mchango wa serikali za kaunti katika kuboresha uchumi umefikia wapi. Yote 9-10 tutakuwa tunazungumzia kuhusiana na hali halisi ya uchumi wa pwani miaka 10 baadaye tangu tuwepo na serikali ya Jubilee. Kwa hivyo mpenzi mtazamaji, mazungumzo hayo nitakuwa nazungumza naye mmoja mwenye uweledi wa masuala haya ya uchumi, ambaye pia anatokea katika vuguvugu lile ama shirika lile ambalo linazungumzia masuala ya kiuchumi haswa, ambalo linafanyika kama Fast Action Movement, ama ukipenda pia ni Fast Action Business Community. Bwana Salim Karama ambaye ni mwenyekiti atakuwa anazungumza nami kuhusiana na mambo hayo yote ya kiuchumi baada muda usio mrefu. Kwa hivyo mpenzi mtazamaji, usiende mbali.
Strikes.